Talk. I am your host, Mashuma Saba, M. Saba, and this is our Cultural Variety Podcast. Stay tuned. Peace. If you can hear me, I'm having technical difficulties, so I didn't hear my intro. But it does say that we are recording live. So, hey, how are you all doing? Welcome to the show, Coffee Talk Podcast, the Cultural Variety Podcast Show. And I am your host, Mashuma Saba, M. Saba. And this is our Cultural Variety Podcast Show. I'm doing two types of recordings going on. One is I'm streaming, and the other one is I'm doing a local recording. And I believe that the local recording somehow slowed down my intro. So I do apologize to my viewers and supporters if you didn't get the full video of our intro. And if you did, great. But I haven't seen it right now because I'm live with you. So just to say that. But yeah, welcome to the show, Coffee Talk Podcast, the Cultural Variety Podcast Show. I'm in between hosting and looking at these pot stickers. I got these chicken pot stickers next to me that look so delicious. But tonight is our Sunday night cultural study, and I thought that we would have a great segment where we discuss concealing your intentions. That's right, to conceal your intentions. And excuse me. And what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is watch what you put out here. Watch what you put out to Facebook, social media, or what you tell people. Because when you give them more than you should, they steal your ideas or block your blessings or hate on you because they know what your movements are. And that's why I always try to tell those that listen. I always try to encourage these young brothers. I try to say, I say, don't show your guns on social media, your money, your drugs, your home. There's just certain etiquette that you should carry when you're dealing with social media. That's if you care. I have to say that as a disclaimer, if you care, because some people just don't give a damn about nothing. They're so super tough. They don't give a damn about nothing. You can't tell them nothing. So just leave them where they be. They'll figure it out or they won't. But I always used concealing my intentions as a defense mechanism because I always witnessed people once they know what you're doing or any of that, they'll use that on you in an argument, or they'll use it on you to be a gatekeeper to the level you're trying to get to or whatever, or just the fact that they just don't want to see you um, make it. So only give people what you want them to have. Never give them everything. You give them what you want them to have, and that's what we're going to talk about tonight. We're going to dive in to chapter 3. The 48 Laws of Power, written by Robert Greene. And that chapter is called Conceal Your Intentions. But if this is your first time tuning in to Coffee Talk Podcast, the cultural variety podcast show, my glasses look crooked a little bit. But if this is your first time tuning in to Coffee Talk Podcast, the cultural variety show, we never start the show without giving you its flavor and its wise words. That's right. We always started out with the flavor and the wise words. So let's go ahead and dive right in, and then we're going to get to Haile Selassie, Emperor of Ethiopia. And the storyline has to deal with concealing your intentions. So that's definitely what we're going to do. All right. But before we jump into the flavor, I want to just go ahead and say this to my viewers and everybody tuning in and those that support the show. How was your day today? On a scale of 1 through 10, let me know how your day was, with 10 being you're having a fabulous day, a great day, an excellent day, with 5 somewhere in the middle, and 4 somewhere, 1 through 4. We working on it. You know what I'm saying? But go ahead and let us know, because we love to be an ear for our people, and we love to listen, as well as, if we can, provide a solution. Other than that, come on in, pour yourself some coffee, a cappuccino, some water, some wine, a smoothie. Do what you do. But come on in, kick your feet up right here in the library, here at Coffee Talk Podcast, Cultural Variety Podcast. All right. So tonight's flavor is this. Yeah, that's the library in the background. But tonight's flavor is this. Tonight's flavor is pure. Why pure? Because anything that is pure is worth fighting for. Anything that is pure is worth fighting for. What do I mean by that? Let's say that you have accomplished something and that's worth fighting for. Let's say that you trying to succeed, or trying to help somebody get to the finish line, or doing whatever you can do to provide righteous intent, pure intentions. So tonight's flavor is pure. Why? Because anything that is pure is worth fighting for. So that's tonight's flavor. All right. And tonight's wise words. Tonight's wise words is from myself. And the wise words is this. You ever notice when people know you're building something, they will use your pace of your build as a failure to the fact that they don't see the result when they want. What I need you to do, though, is trust your process, but recognize the envy. So that's the flavor of today, and those are the wise words. And what we're going to do next is we're going to go ahead and take a 30-second commercial break so more people can come on in to the show, Coffee Talk Podcast, a cultural variety podcast show. And when we get back in 30 seconds, we're going to go ahead and enjoy a story that is fitting for tonight's topics and flavor. And that is to conceal your intentions, man. Don't never let everybody know your movements. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of people out here that are just negative energy transformers, and they want to just hate on your shit. You know what I'm saying? So I'll see y'all in about 30 seconds. We'll be right back after this 30-second commercial break. Peace, 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 peace. And welcome back to Coffee Talk Podcast, the cultural variety podcast show. I am your host, Mashuma Saba, M. Saba, and this is our cultural variety podcast show. So we are back. We're getting ready to dive into the story that correlates to our segment tonight. And our segment is this chapter 3 of the 48 Laws of Power: Conceal Your Intentions. You know, another reason why I brought this up is because I like to reflect on things that I've seen throughout the course of a week, or things that people done said and I just happen to catch it during the course of a week. And after I reflect on it, sometimes it makes for good content. It also makes for good dialect. And what better than to, have this podcast, this platform where we can go ahead and discuss it, talk about it, and things like that. But like this past week, I saw a young man, um, you know, dancing with their gun. You know what I'm saying? Playing with their gun, and it doesn't matter how many times that message goes across that why show your weaponry first of all, but second of all, why dance with it and play with it in video? Same thing with a John Morant situation. So you hear those things, but it still doesn't stop that ignorance of audacity. You know what I mean? Um, but my whole point of it is, you shouldn't show what you have anyway to the world. Let them wonder what you have versus what you got. You know what I'm saying? Same with money, same with jewelry, same with anything that you're trying to do. Look, you're trying to do something, you haven't completed this goal yet, and you decide that you're gonna go ahead and just share what you're trying to do. Even that can be a no-no in these days and times because then somebody's gonna steal your ideas, uh, or somebody might hear you and not want to give you credit for it or anything like that. So you just want to make sure what you giving the world or what you're giving these people is what you want to give them, but never give them your 100% personal situations or things that you got going on, because at time and time again they will use it as a clutch to bring out the negative, and then you will get to having discouragement. You will get to thinking you can't accomplish something. So again, like today's wise words. I think I want to use the wise words again, just for the viewers that are popping on. But the wise word tonight was: you ever notice when people know you're building something and they will use your pace of your pace, as a failure to the fact that they don't see the result when they want to see it. But I'm telling you now, just trust your process, but recognize the envy. Again, those were the wise words for tonight. All right. So, as I said, we're going to be jumping into chapter 3 of this great book here. I don't know if y'all can see that. I'm trying to get it on camera. I actually can't because of the coloring, but it is the 48 Laws of Power. And we're going to be discussing chapter 3, called Conceal Your Intentions. So, I'm just going to read you a short little paragraph of what they mean by conceal your intentions, and then I'm gonna give you like a 2-minute read on Haile and how he used that tactic, that element, to defeat a great warrior. So let's talk about that. Conceal your intentions. Keep people off balance and in the dark by never revealing the purpose behind your actions. If they have no clue what you are up to, they cannot prepare a defense. Guide them through enough, guide them far enough down the wrong path, envelop them in enough smoke, and by the time they realize your intentions, it will be too late. That's just more of how you use that. But the key thing that I wanted to point out when you hear that is the very first the three sentences. That's what I'm talking about. The very first three sentences, where it says, keep people off balance and in the dark by never revealing the purpose behind your actions. That means just give them what you want them to have. Otherwise, if they know everything about you, they'll try to destroy you and block your blessings. It also says if they have no clue what you are up to, they cannot prepare a defense. See, when they know when you are out here showboating, um, and doing all those type of things, being braggadocio and all those type of things, people that hate on you, people that don't like you, people that have secret envy of you, they're always watching. And as a defense mechanism, you have to always understand that part or understand that part that they're always watching, even when they don't hit like, even when they don't hit share, even when they don't want to support. You're watching because it's you. They don't have no good intentions. They have an envious intention, but they want to stay around just in case you blow up. Then they'll come grab it. But right now, when you're at surface level, you can see the envy, but you got to look at it very clearly because it comes from all around. People that you would never think that would be envious of you. And it comes around more from people that are close to you than it'd be people outside of it. You ever come up with any great idea, be careful who you tell. Let's go ahead and jump into our story now about the great Haile Selassie, Emperor of Ethiopia. This is a great coffee talk tonight. This is cultural studies night. Let's go ahead and dive right in. In the mid 1920s, the powerful warlords of Ethiopia were coming to the realization that a young man of nobility named Haile Selassie, also known as Rastafari, was out competing them all and nearing the point where he could proclaim himself their leader, unifying the country for the first time in decades. Most of his rivals could not understand how this wispy, quiet, mild mannered man had been able to take control. Yet, 1927, Selassie was able to summon the warlords one at a time to come to Addis Ababa to declare their loyalty and recognize him as leader. Some hurried, some hesitated, but only one, the Jasmish Balcha of Sadamo, declared, dared defy Selassie totally. A blustery man, Balacha was a great warrior and he considered the new leader weak and unworthy. He pointedly stayed away from the capital. Finally, Selassie, in his gentle but stern way, commanded Balacha to come. The warlord decided to obey, but in doing so, he would turn the tables on this pretender to the Ethiopian throne. He would come to Addis Ababa at his own speed and with an army of 10,000 men, a force large enough to defend himself, perhaps even start a civil war. Stationing his formidable force in a valley 3 miles from the capital, he waited as a king would. Selassie would have to come to him. Selassie did indeed send emissaries asking Balasha to attend an afternoon banquet in his honor. But Balasha, no fool, knew history. He knew that previous kings and lords of Ethiopia had used banquets as a trap. Once he was there and full of drink, Selassie would have him arrested or murdered. To signal his understanding of the situation, he agreed to come to the banquet, but only if he could bring his personal bodyguard, 600 of his best soldiers, all armed and ready to defend him and themselves. To Balacha's surprise, Selassie answered with the utmost politeness that he would be honored to play host to such warriors. On the way to the banquet, Balasha warned his soldiers not to get drunk and to be on guard. When they arrived at the palace, Selassie was his charming best. He deferred to Balasha, treated him as if he was desperately needed his approval and cooperation. But Balasha refused to be charmed, and he warned Selassie that if he did not return to his camp by nightfall, his army had orders to attack the capital. Selassie reacted as if hurt by his mistrust. Over the meal, when it came time for the traditional singing of songs in honor of Ethiopia's leaders, he made a point of allowing only songs honoring the warlord of Sadamo. It seemed to Balacha that Selassie was scared, intimidated by this great warrior who could not be outwitted. Sensing the change, Balacha believed that he would be the one to call the shots in the days to come. At the end of the afternoon, Balacha and his soldiers began their march back to camp amidst cheers and gun salutes. Looking back to the capital over his shoulder, he planned his strategy, how his soldiers would march through the capital in triumph within weeks, and Selassie would be put in his place being either prison or death. When Balacha came in sight of his camp, however, he saw that something was terribly wrong. Where before there had been colorful tents stretching as far as the eye could see, now there was nothing, only smoke from doused fires. What devil's magic was this? A witness told Balacha what happened. During the banquet, a large army commanded by the ally of Selassie had stolen up on Balacha's encampment by a side route he had not seen. This army had not come to fight, however, knowing that Balachi would have heard a noisy battle and hurried back with his 600 men and bodyguard. Selassie had armed his own troops with baskets of gold and cash. They had surrounded Balacha's army and proceeded to purchase every last one of their weapons. Those who refused were easily intimidated. Within a few hours, Balacha's entire force had been disarmed and scattered in all directions. Realizing his danger, Balacha decided to march south with his 600 soldiers to regroup. But the same army that had disarmed his soldiers blocked his way. The other way out was to march on the capital, but Selassie had set a large army to defend it. Like a chess player, he had predicted Balacha's moves and had checkmated him. For the first time in his life, Balacha surrendered. To repent his sins of pride and ambition, he agreed to enter a monastery. Here's the interpretation of that great story. Throughout Selassie's reign, no one could quite figure him out. Ethiopians liked their leaders fierce, but Selassie, who wore the front of a gentle, peace loving man, lasted longer than any of them. Never angry or impatient, he lured his victims with sweet smiles, lulling them with charm and weakness before he attacked. In the case of Balacha, Selassie played on the man's warness, his suspicion that the banquet was a trap, which in fact it was, but not the one he expected. Selassie's way of allaying Balacha's fears, letting him bring his bodyguards to the banquet, giving him top billing there, making him feel in control, created a thick smoke screen, concealing the real action 3 miles away. Remember, the paranoid and weary are often the easiest to deceive. We're going to say that again. The paranoid and the weary are often the easiest to deceive. When they're trust in one area and you have a smoke screen that blinds their view in another, letting you creep up and level them with devastating blow. A helpful or apparently honest gesture, or one that implies the other person's superiority. These are perfect divisionary devices. Properly set up, the smoke screen is a weapon of great power. It enables the gentle Selassie to totally destroy his enemy without firing a single bullet. That is the story of Haile Selassie and concealing your intentions with whatever you may be doing. Okay. What's your thoughts on the story? What could Balacha have done differently? Balacha was under the impression that he was paranoid. But at the same time, he thought he was in preparation to take over the capital. One of the mistakes that Balacha made, though, is he got caught up in his own vein. And that's what Haile Selassie played on. See, sometimes the weaker man, or one that you may think is the weaker man, is really the strongest man in position. And that's why they have that proverb that says a smart man can play dumb, but a dumb man can't play smart. This is why I encourage you all that are watching Coffee Talk Podcast to stop showing all the things that you have. Women too. If you want to be treated and respected from your mind, you have to understand the less clothes you wear is the way one is going to view you. And it also can open or close certain opportunities. Fellas, strategically, you know, there's haters out here, there's people that want to beef with you, there's all kind of shit. Never show your weaponry to many people. Let them think you don't have nothing. Let them believe whatever you want them to believe. People that are trying to get a business started, or people that are or have received some type of monetary reward. Don't tell people your business. They'll block your blessings or try to control you, cap you, put you on blast. Never let them know everything. Only give them what you intend for them to have. So, with that being said, that is our show for tonight here at Coffee Talk Podcast on this beautiful Sunday night, June 24th, 2023. Go ahead and please leave a comment on tonight's story. what you thought about it. Definitely while you're here, go ahead and hit the like button. Let me know that you stopped by, man. I love to hear from you. Say hi, say what's up, say peace, greetings, whatever you want to do. Drop it in the comments. Let me know, and I'll definitely shoot you back with a peace sign or something. But thank you for continuing to support Black business as well as the Coffee Talk Podcast brand. We're getting ready to get more bigger and more better as we continue to grow. We are here for you. This show is for you. This is the new media, not the old. Thank you for tuning in to Coffee Talk Podcast. I'm going to hit you with the universal peace sign. And with that being said, I'm out of here, man. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all's evening. Peace.